That's the first thing. Second thing is mentally break me, but they don't understand that I love the difficulty. I've reframed my mind. I eat pain. It's good. It's fine. Put me in jail. Great. I can't wait. Put me in jail. I have all the time in the world to do push-ups. Put me in jail.
Do you get a buzz off of it?
Take me to jail. No, but if I'm scared of them, that empowers them. You can put me in jail. It doesn't change who I am. In fact, it makes me a more condensed, more formidable version of myself. The fact that everybody knows this is a Matrix attack and I've done nothing wrong makes me more famous and more globally recognizable. I emerged from jail as rich as before, more well-known, and stronger than I've ever been. So put me in fucking jail. So put me in jail. You think I'm scared? That's what we're gonna do. Put me in jail. And they think that putting me in jail is going to somehow punish me. I don't see it as a punishment. I'm looking for an exceptional life. Exceptionalism is the highs and the lows.
Yeah.
I want both. I wouldn't appreciate driving my Bugatti around the world if I didn't go to jail. If I only had one, the other would be nothing. There's
you wouldn't
no
know the other end. Yeah, you wouldn't know the other end.
Put me in jail.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Can't wait. I can't wait. Put me in. Because they're going to. So the only reframe is do it. Go and do it. If someone puts a gun to your head, well, shoot me then, pussy. What the fuck? What am I gonna sit here and cry?
To fucking do it then.
Yeah, do it then. It is what it is. So, but I just want people at home to understand that if you're truly looking to reach the highest levels of experience in life, you're gonna end up going through the same crap I'm going through. They're gonna hit you and they're gonna get you because everyone's guilty of something.
Yeah. Look, you mentioned these 3 stages of a Matrix attack, yeah? Banned, they'll cancel you somehow with allegations, and then the third one, they'll be and kill you.
Yeah.
And I know you've said in many podcasts, even the last one we done, you said you will never commit suicide.
Never.
Any regards at all.
Never.
I understand that, and I agree with that.
Yeah.
You're not the man to do so. But who's to say, and I don't know how much of this in the podcast I can keep in, but who's to say they can't kill you off the same way they did with other people?
If they want me dead, I'll die. But I know I've got a lot of jail to do first before that. So I'm on my second life, but I don't think I've expired it yet.
But do you think it has to be in that order?
Yeah. Because now if they kill you, they make you a martyr. Plus everybody knows what they're doing now. You can't just kill people like before and nobody know. If they kill me, everyone's gonna know. So they're like, okay, well, we don't want to make him a hero. We don't want to give him the significance of a hero into eternity. Because truthfully, what we do on this earth, Danya, what we do on this earth is temporary, and that's fine. But being a legend for eternity is pretty attractive.
Yeah, of course.
And these people are not legends, and they don't want to make me a legend. They don't want to kill me. They want to destroy me. You don't destroy a man by killing him at the height of his powers. No, they want to break me. They want me to do a Jordan Peterson and cry my eyes out on cameras.
They want to make an example of you.
They want to make an example of me. They want me to sit and say sorry. They want me to say, oh, I'm sorry, Matrix. I'm sorry.
Sorry for doing this.
I didn't mean it. They want me to pussy out. And they're very frustrated that I won't. They're like, why can't this guy, why can't we just make him shut up? He is so stubborn. Correct. I am stubborn. As we discussed earlier in the podcast. God knows what's right. God knows what's wrong. I just follow the book.
Yeah.
I tell the truth. That's my job to do, is tell the truth. My job here is not to lie to people. I don't lie. So that's why I'm stubborn. That's why they don't like religion. But their goal is to destroy me, and I refuse to let them. But I don't think they're going to kill me anytime soon. I think they're going to try and hit me with endless legal quagmires, and the goal being to financially bankrupt me or mentally break me. They don't understand that
can't happen.
They can't happen because the legal quagmires increase the strength of my brand, which increases my earning potential. And they can't mentally break me because I'm a warlord and I enjoy war. So come do it. It's kind of crazy. Like the UK who are after me, they have these crazy ideas. I'm this big criminal kingpin and blah, 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 blah. I mean, I know I look the part. I'll take it. But I also think, and I'm just talking out loud, like, I'm a prosecutor, okay. He's a criminal kingpin, he's doing crimes, he's doing this, he's doing this. I'm the most Googled man on earth. You think I can't make legit money? Like, I'm the most Googled human on the planet. You think I can't, like, sell $10 million of fucking t-shirts?
Yeah, literally.
Like, what do you think I'm doing?
Anything you start creating.
He's human trafficking, he's selling drugs. Why would I sell drugs? I'm the most famous man on earth. I have the most legal, most straightforward incomes you can possibly have. Hi, this is me. This is where my money comes from. No, must be something hidden. What? Why? Because I said women can't park? Because I said women can't park? No, he's a misogynist. He must have done something. He's a crime boss. Bro, these people have lost their minds.
They're just looking for anything at this point now, isn't it?
And I'm going to go to court and say, this is garbage. here's all my legal income. This is all a lie.
Yep.
This is garbage. And they're going to sit there and go, jail.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Jail.
They've already decided it from the get-go.
100% is a matrix attack.
Yeah.
100 is a matrix attack, just like Romania did. And that's how it works. And I guess the only regret I kind of have is people I love being dragged into the matrix attacks. So recently, a girl I know very well her house was raided, and she was just dragged to jail in England. This is very recent. Tell us about Andrew Tate. Tell us about Andrew Tate. Tell us about Andrew Tate.
Did they raid her house because
of me?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and I find it very sad that people I care about have to go through that garbage because the government is abusive. And she was like, what is this? Like, this is insane. And it goes to show you like the levels these people operate on, because they were saying, oh, we can see he sent you money. She's like, yeah. And where did that money come from? What work are you doing for him? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? Are you moving things? Does he make you, like, trying to pretend I've hired her for something? She's like, I go to the spa.
He sent me money for Harrods.
Yeah, like, but that's too much money for shopping. She's like, maybe for you, not for me. Like, like
you know how much Dior costs nowadays?
Yeah, bro, to these people, 10 grand is like, whoa,
literally,
criminal enterprise. I'm like, she said she wanted to go shopping, so I gave her 10 grand.
Yeah, that's a pair of Jimmy shoes right there.
Yeah, it's just 2 pairs of shoes.
Yeah, done.
These people have lost their mind, bro. It's crazy. But it's fine. I'll end up in jail with the guys, and I'll sit there and I'll eat my meal like everyone else. Most people don't understand. I'm not a rich guy. I'm a poor guy with lots of money. I'm not from a privileged background.
Yeah, you'll fit right in.
Yo, bro.
Fit right in. Can't wait.
Can't wait.
You said you're a guy that's very prepared, right?
Yeah.
And I want to bring it to this point. I want to give you my perspective on it, and you tell me how it was. So, towards the end of 2022, before your arrest, you were chilling with streamers like Aiden Ross, for example, right? On their stream and trying to improve their mentality, trying to better themselves. Was that so? Because there's a few ways looking at this.
Yeah.
Him being the most popular streamer at the time can keep your relevancy up as well in the time that you're away. But also, it can be by using him to keep your message going to the masses. Now, credit to him, because I don't follow him too much, to be fair, but I think for a month or two after you were in jail, he was still going to the gym, getting in shape. Yeah. Don't know about now, but I mean, what was it for you?
Yeah, he has a huge audience of young kids. The new generation are lost, bro. They're a mess. And
finished.
Yeah, they're done. Yeah. And most streamers are just clowns, and they don't provide any kind of value, because to provide value in the world, you need to know things. And you're only going to know things through pain and suffering. I think that God teaches you through pain and suffering. Every single time you suffer pain, you're learning a lesson. And to be honest with you, I don't think men learn lessons any other way. I don't think we are capable of learning lessons without pain. I can give you a bunch of examples. How many times has your girl said, stop cheating on me or I'm going to leave? Yeah. You're like, yeah. And you keep cheating. And then she leaves. You're like, damn, don't leave.
She actually did it.
You only learn the hard way. That's men. So that's why God teaches us the hard way. So for you to have value, for you to have wisdom, for you to be able to give lessons, you need to have a very difficult life. The reason people listen to me talk is because my life's been good and bad. If I was only good, if I was only sitting here talking about what watches I can buy, nobody would care.
Yeah.
So
and to be fair, people might not even like you because this guy's just a flexer.
100%.
Yeah.
So you need to have all the bad things. And a lot of these young kids now, the streamers, they don't have any difficulty in their lives. Bro, you're 14 and you start getting paid millions of dollars from these streaming platforms. You have literally zero difficulty. So then how do you attract views? The only way you can do it is by self-degradation, being a clown, being a court jester, and for people to laugh at you as opposed to laugh with you. So then it becomes a race to the bottom of who's going to do the most stupid shit. And then they all start just being idiots online and being children. And I understood this, and Aiden Ross is one of the most well-known versions of this. And he's actually a nice guy. I know him very well. And I thought, let me try and give some positive messaging to the youth. And that's why I did it. And I actually like Aiden. He's more switched on than he comes across. But I'll take any platform and say the same things. It doesn't matter what platform you put me on. It doesn't matter if it's a feminist platform or a children platform. I'll say the same things, which is the truth of God and how to work hard. And I'd like to think there's some children out there I've inspired via Aiden. He's a really nice guy, but I don't know what he's doing now. I don't know what his streams are about now, etc. I don't watch these things. I don't find them particularly entertaining, but I'm hoping, my prediction is that as the world gets more and more difficult, and that's coming, by the way, anyone who's watching this, if you're sleeping at night, you should stop. You should begin to panic because it's about to get very hard for the average person. As the world gets more and more difficult, people are gonna shy away from the insanity of entertainment and perma-distraction and start looking for answers and solutions. And that's going to allow people who provide value and value-based content to become even larger than ever before. Yep. When you can't pay the rent, you want to know how to pay the rent. You don't have time to watch stupid streamer garbage. So I'd like to think that's the case. But yeah, Aiden's a really nice guy. But that demographic is lost, bro. The young people are lost. I'm scared for the future of the world. But I know you know what? I'm starting to be a grandpa, because the grandpas have always said this. Think about it. Even like 30, 40 years ago, the old people were like, you young people. I'm starting to sound like that now myself. I'm like, you young people, you're all weird. But they are. It's like, I don't know what's going to happen.
I wanted to ask you this, right? From when you've come online, the top G lifestyle seems like the guy that can do it all. The Bugatti lifestyle, the private jets, the girls, etc., the fat house, all of it, right? And whereas we're seeing streamers making a shitload of money nowadays, where they can do the private jet lifestyle, have a car collection, nice crib, girl to go along with it, but at the same time, they're not intellectually there, as you just said.
Yep.
So do you think the barrier to being the top G or the guy that people want to be is closing?
I think that money's an amplifier. I've said this a lot of times, but I have to say it over and over again because I want people to understand. A lot of people think money will fix their problems, and all it will do is exasperate them.
Yeah.
If you're a coward, you will be a bigger coward if you're rich. You'll be more afraid of robbery. You'll be more afraid of people finding out where you live. If you're an idiot, you'll be a bigger idiot if you're rich. You're gonna do more stupid things than you would have done if you were poor. If you're a G, you'll be a bigger G if you're rich. So a lot of people don't understand that money doesn't change you. Money accelerates and exasperates and amplifies who you truly are. The problem with a lot of these other streamers, as you just described, is they got rich young and they weren't shit. And now they're rich idiots. They were idiots and now they're rich idiots.
But here's what I'm saying to it, because let's just say the younger audience to that want to be rich one day. Now, if you were my age, you could look at Andrew Tate and be like, okay, cool, I want to open up this business, I want to do this, I want to do this crypto, eventually I'm going to be in that position. Whereas you could have the younger generation look up to streamers, I want to sit on my computer all day and make money like that.
And some of them do. I mean,
it's no hardship to it.
There is no hardship. First thing I'll say about streamers is, and this is my sneaking suspicion, none of them make the money they pretend they make. You know what's kind of weird since I became, I'll tell everyone at home how rich I am. I know this is supposed to be taboo. I don't give a shit. I pay myself $1 million a week because it's a nice round number. I could pay myself a whole bunch more. That's what I pay myself, and that's what I spend. And I spend it all every single month. I buy a new car 3 times a week.
So you spend $4 million a month?
Correct. I buy a new car 3 times a week. I bought a new car yesterday.
What car did you buy?
The new Vantage came out.
Yep.
Went on the configurator.
Yep.
Ticked every box. 316,000 euro.
Yep.
Bought it. When does it come? Dunno. Will I drive it? Probably not. Just bought it.
I even saw that vlog where you bought the M3. You just wanted to see what the handling was.
I want to see what the steering was like.
Yeah.
I've driven that car for 1 kilometer.
And that's it.
It's on our driveway. Yeah. I don't want it. So that's how much I make. These streamers, when they get these $20 million contract or $30 million, they announce these big contracts. Well, that is done so that the platforms can try and attract more streamers. But truthfully, they say $30 million contract, that's probably across 3 years, and they have to pay 50% tax, and there's a performance bonus. They only get the 30 million if they get X amount of views, which they're never gonna get, blah, blah, blah. All in all, they don't make anywhere near the money people think they make. I mean, okay, I have a Bugatti. Everyone knows I'm famous for having a Bugatti. My car was $5.4 million. Where's everyone else's? If everyone got a $50 million contract, why has no one else got a Bugatti? Because Lambos don't matter anymore. No one cares about Lambos.
Wait, we're going past stage.
Oh, no, Lambos are boring.
Yeah.
5 years ago, you had a Lambo, you were the man. Now, bro, my chick drives a Lambo. Who gives a shit? So, bro, I buy Lambos on bulk. Give me 4, give me 3, give me all the colors. Lambos are nothing. So, where's everyone else's Bugatti? Well, they can't afford one. And it's only $5 million. And I say only, and I'm not trying to be arrogant, but it's only 5M. Like, it's a month's wages for me. If these people are making 50, 40, 30 million like they say they are, where are all their nice cars? None of them are making the money they say they are. First, that's all a lie. And that's just to convince kids to give up their future to just try and become famous streamers. And then we go down the path I just described before. When you try and become a famous streamer and you're an idiot and you haven't had a difficult life and you have no wisdom, nothing to teach, can't give value, you end up being a clown, doing dumb shit online, trying to be an idiot, which just further pollutes society as a whole. So it's a trap.
Yep.
That's the first thing. The second thing is, the only good thing about having money is that it amplifies your attributes, as I said before, which means if you make money the hard way, all of the attributes you learn along the way can be amplified by the money.
Yep.
If you learn how to make money in a difficult way and you gain stress tolerance and you learn how to manage people and you learn how to do meetings, you learn how to speak well, you learn how to be charming, you learn how to be funny.
These are all skill sets you learn.
They're skill sets. And then you get the money and these skill sets are amplified and now your life is great. If you make money any other way, let's say you make money the easy way, let's say you win the lottery or you catch a crypto pump or you get a streaming contract for setting yourself on fire. Bro, these kids are putting forks in plug sockets, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
bro, if you get money for that, there's no point having the money.
Yeah.
Because another thing about money that most people don't understand is a lot of people think, oh, you get money, you get girls, you get respect, you get clout. No, you don't. No, you don't.
Not if you act like that.
No, if you're an idiot.
Yeah.
If you get money, you're just going to be a robbery target for the women you date, for the government, and for the criminals. Mm-hmm. Congratulations.
And if you're not smart, if you're not street smart, you're not going to see any of it coming.
You're not going to see any of it coming, and you're going to get wrecked. So you don't want to make money the easy way anyway. Another thing that's funny, this was last night. You know what? I say I'm a billionaire, and people think I'm lying about that, but I'm not lying. And I want people to understand at home that I have an online educational platform called The Real World, where we teach people how to make money online. 18 modern wealth creation methods. It's $49 a month. It turns over, let's say, $14 million a month. At $14 million a month, that's 7 times multiplier, which is pretty standardized for a tech company. I have a $1 billion company, which I own 100% mine. I own it. So I'm a billionaire. And I was sitting at home with my brother last night, smoking a cigar, and we were playing Uno.
The little board game, is that? Yeah?
Uno, bro.
Yep, okay.
And it's serious, street rules. Bro, we don't take Uno lightly. So we're playing Uno. And Tristan said, when we were broke, we sat in Luton playing Uno. And now we're billionaires. We sit here playing Uno.
What's the difference?
Nothing changes.
Nothing changes.
Nothing changes. Because the best thing about life is going to be spending time with the people you care about and your brother. Okay, now I have better security. Cool, now I'm smoking a cigar. Yes, my house is nicer. But the fundamentals of my life are basically the same. If I have any spare time at all, I'll sit with my brother and we'll do something asinine. And a lot of people, especially these people who are getting rich, because they're not quality people and they don't have quality relationships, they don't have brotherhood. They don't have a network of people they can rely on. They don't have a woman who truly loves them. And they're going to try and buy it, and they're going to find out that can't be done. The best thing about my life, the reason I am so rich is not because I have money. It's because I have friends who I could give all my money to, and my girl, and say, I'll see you in 10 years. And say, cool. Mm. And that's money. That's wealth. That's rich. Most people can't do that. These fucking nerds make a bunch of money. They can't trust anyone around them. They can't trust their chick. They can't trust their friends. They can't trust anything. Then what do you have? It's only money. And I think money is probably the third or fourth most important thing in the world. It is important, but above that is health and love and your network and people you care about. There's certainly things above money. And if you have all of those and then you get money, you can amplify it. But I think a lot of people don't understand that money's an amplifier. I said this often to people who ask me questions. I've had little nerds come up to me and go, I want to get rich. I was like, bro, you need to stop being a geek. Because if you get rich, you're going to be a fucking mega geek. You're a dork. Fix it. Fix it. I hope you don't get rich before you fix your problems, sir, because you're going to be in a lot of trouble. Because if you get rich in the state you're in, you're done, bro.
Yeah.
You're
done.
Gonna
get fucked over one time.
You don't want that. You need to go and fix everything about yourself, and then maybe God will reward you. Maybe you're not rich because you're a little nerd, and he's tired of it.
Yeah.
I'm tired of it. I met you for 5 seconds. I don't want to talk to you anymore. So you need to understand these things and build a base of life and understand what's important, and then you get money and it allows you to amplify all of it.
Here's what I'm going to ask you, Tate, yeah? Would you say that the real world is one of, like, you know, the main income streams for yourself?
No, so I wouldn't say it's the main income stream. What I will say, first I'll say why it exists. I'm going to go conspiratorial again.
Go on. We love it.
Why not? I've sat in jail trying to analyze which power structures want me in jail. I've sat there and said, okay, why do they want me in jail? Well, the military-industrial complex wants me in jail because I tell kids not to join the army and not to go die in a foreign war for no reason, because every reason they tell you to go to war is a lie. So the army wants me in jail. And then I've sat there and thought, okay, well, the the feminists and the matriarchy want me in jail because I'm inspiring masculinity, which is resistance to their power. And where there's a power struggle, there's conflict, and they want me in jail because I tell men that they're allowed to have standards.
Yep.
I'm seen
You're
as a
allowed to
misogynist.
be a man.
Yeah, I'm seen as a misogynist because I effectively say as a man, you're allowed to have a standard. Yep. You're allowed to say to a woman, no, you're not supposed to speak to me that way. I'm a full-grown adult and I want to be respected in my household. That makes me a bad person. So that's why the matriarchy wants me in jail. And then I sit and say, what other powerful structures want me in jail? Well, maybe the educational platforms want me in jail. Maybe the education system wants me in jail because that's the biggest scam of them all. The biggest scam of them all is the modern education system. And I can prove to you it's a scam, and they know it's a scam because it has to operate inside of a vacuum. If it wasn't a scam, they would allow people to take out a loan and decide what they spend it on. Do you want to start a business? Do you want to buy crypto? Do you want to buy a house? Do you want to buy a car? Do you want to get a degree?
Yep.
No, you can only get a degree with the loan because if they give you any choice, no one will pick a degree because they know it's useless, because it's out-of-date information that takes too long to teach, and you get massively in debt. Think how fast the world moves. Think of things that are relevant now that weren't relevant 3 weeks ago. And you're learning things in a degree that were from 20 years ago, and it takes you 4 years to learn.
That's going to be completely irrelevant by that point.
Bro, Christmas feels like a lifetime ago. It's been a month. And you're going to sit and go to school for 4 years and learn things that from 1996 and think that that piece of paper is worth anything?
Yeah, it's not.
The whole thing's a scam, and they know it's a scam. So I sit there and go, well, why would the educational systems want me in jail? Yeah, I say it's a scam, but also maybe it's because I own university.com, www.university.com, and I have an online educational platform, which is the largest school on the planet. And we're teaching financial literacy, and it costs $49 a month, less than a Nando's, and we'll teach kids how to make money online, and they won't go to the school anymore. So I'm like, okay, so the educational system wants me in jail, the matriarchy wants me in jail, the military-industrial complex wants me in jail. Can't wait to go to court. I'm sure it's gonna be a fair trial. Can't wait. I'm sure I'm gonna walk.
Here's where I was going with it though, yeah? I'll be real, Tate. I can't even post this podcast on TikTok. Because my last TikTok account got banned. It wasn't even clips of you. It was me and the guest speaking about you, and TikTok was like, no, harmful content, take it down. And we were literally just saying you're a nice guy. So I can't even post this on TikTok. And I know one of the reasons for your meteoric rise was to do with the fact that TikTok was getting flooded with Andrew Tate content, literally top G everywhere. But now that's not the case. So how do you actually keep people coming back to the real world, which was once obviously Hustle University, right? How do you get people coming back and, make sure they know that we are still here?
Yeah, so TikTok have gone, so have Meta, so have Instagram, so have Facebook.
Being banned
I'm banned everywhere, right? And you're right, they don't like people saying anything nice about me. They don't like my voice. They don't like a still picture of me, nothing.
Literally
it's crazy.
Nothing,
All I do is I make it obvious to people that the platform exists. And to further go down the rabbit hole of why that platform does exist, it's not for me to make money. I can resign now. I can retire now for the rest of my life if I wanted to live semi-sensibly. If I stopped buying 3 cars a week, I could probably still do that for a good 10 years. But, I could calm down and live a very nice life. The reason I have the real world is the same reason I have the war room. Because when I talk about all the problems I talk about, the astute members of the populace will sit and say to me, okay, then what's the solution? Andrew, you're right. You're right. The legal system's a joke. They're out to keep us all enslaved. We're not allowed to have an opinion as a man. We live in a matriarchy. My job hates me. What's the answer? And I'm I'm a little bit disappointed in myself that I've only come up with 2 answers so far, but they're the only answers that have ever worked for me. And perhaps there's another answer that's better than the ones I have. But the only answers I can come up with, in fact, 3 answers, I apologize, is 1, God. You need God. That's the most important thing. The second is you need money. And the third is that you need brotherhood. And I believe if you have those 3 things, you become much harder to be damaged by the system. When I go to jail, I can call my brother and make sure that my women and my children are taken care of. I can have someone to look after them. I have a bunch of money so they can be taken care of. I can get the best lawyers. I have influence, so when they lie about me on the BBC, I can tweet and call them a liar and get more views than the BBC does.
Yeah, literally,
More views than the BBC. Andrew Tate, this. I can just say, lie, fake news, boom, done. So I can fight against them. Well, how do I fight against them? I fight against them with my influence, which is based on my brotherhood and the people I work with inside the war room and the money I have, and God. So when I created the real world, the primary objective is for people to learn how to make money online so they can escape the matrix. Because if you have a job, you're going to be controlled. If you have a job, you can't have an opinion anymore. You can't talk. You can't say certain things online, you'll lose your job. You can't not get the vaccine, you'll lose your job. You can't not wear a mask, you'll lose your job. You have to obey, you have to comply, or you can't pay the mortgage. If you make money for yourself online, you're now harder to control. So when they come along with their infantile ideas and try and force you to perpetuate and purport them, you can sit and say, no, I'm making my own money, you're a liar. So that's the reason I made The Real World, and that's the reason I made it so cheap, $49 a month, so people can join and learn how to make money online. And the reason there's the War Room is because of brotherhood, because I believe that if you analyze any period of human history, including Genghis Khan, as we just discussed, it's always been about brothers. What was Genghis Khan? It was a bunch of his boys, a bunch of your boys, get on a horse.
And just conquering.
Yeah,
literally.
bro.
Yeah,
we
just
still
conquering.
do it. You and your boys, you all get together, you go to the
out in the
club, you get
cars,
some girls, that it's the same.
Yeah.
Everyone gets on a horse, let's ride that way. What's over there? Don't know, who cares?
We'll find out, we'll take
it.
Yeah.
So brotherhood has always been what conquest is about, and it's also always been a small band of brothers to resist evil. Let's say when Genghis Khan got to Vienna. I'm not going to discuss who's the good guy and who's the bad guy. It's just the natural law of the universe that conflict appears. But the people who were defending Vienna were what? Brothers. Brotherhood. Get your sword. Who are they? Let's go. So if you're in a war, and I believe we are, and I think anyone who's looking at life as anything other than war can't be competitive and is destined to be decimated. If you understand you're in a war, then you need brotherhood and you need money. What does Ukraine keep asking for? Money. You need money to fight, and you need men you can count on, which is why I have The Real World that teaches people how to make money online, and the War Rooms you can join a fraternity.
You have the men.
That's right, because I believe if you start to make a bunch of money and you get a bunch of men you can rely on, you then become much harder to enslave. That's the reason those two things exist at cobratate.com, and that's the reason I tell people to join them. And it's not because I'm philanthropic. I want to make it clear. I know the world thinks I'm the nicest man ever. But they don't think that. I'm just going to say it. But it's not because I'm philanthropic. I'm not going to sit here and say, I'm trying to help you guys at home. No. If you're a broke loser, you can stay a broke loser. That's completely fine by me. My cars need washing. You can wash them. Don't care. But I don't care. I don't care. But if I'm going to try and crack the matrix, I can't do it by myself. So I want all of the people who agree with what I say and think like I think
Crack the matrix together.
to be rich. Andrew, you have 1,000 fans. Do you want poor fans or rich fans? I want rich fans.
Rich fans, yeah, of course.
Andrew, you have 1,000 fans. Do you want them to all know each other and be part of a brotherhood and be part of a fraternity, or do you want them to be independent and isolated?
Know each other.
To know each other.
Yeah.
That's all it is. I'm raising an army. I'm Genghis Khan. Get on the horse, guys. Get on the horse.
Let's go.
We're going to fight. And you can join, and I'll make your life better by extension. That's one of the greatest things about my brand. I think it's probably one of the reasons I have no problem with the fact they're going to throw me in jail, etc. Because I know I'm living for a purpose. I know that, just like you said earlier on in this podcast, if you're an Andrew Tate fan, your life improves. And that's a good feeling. If you're a fan of a normal streamer, your life doesn't improve. If you're a fan of Logan Paul or KSI or these idiots, well then what do you get? You get sugary drinks and WWF. Great. You don't get anything. I know that if you're a fan of me, your life genuinely improves. And in the karmic circle of the universe, all of that positive energy will end up back with me. There's no way you can take thousands, perhaps millions of people and make them feel more dedicated, more motivated, more happy, more positive, more inspirational. You can do all of those things and not benefit from it in some way, whether they put me in jail or not. There's good vibes in the universe. I'll pick them up. It's fine. And I'll walk out, tell the BBC, hello, speak to Lucy. No big problem. So I'm very proud of myself because I know I'm doing the right thing. And that's the reason I refuse to shut up, because if I was only entertaining people, I could shut up. Okay, there's no point going to jail to make people laugh. No, but there is a point in going to jail to make so many people's lives better. So as a professional, to go back to why The Real World exists and how I get people to go there, I don't try and sell it to anyone. That's actually a really good point. It's a good question you asked me.
Because I'm just trying to see.
No, but it's a good question because if I am a billionaire and I am obviously monumentally financially successful, and I've just explained to people at home why I want them to join, because I want them to be rich. I have a vested interest in them being rich. Your university professor does not have a vested personal interest in you becoming rich. He doesn't care. He's doing a job. I have a vested personal interest in trying to make my fans as rich as possible. Never else in your life is a billionaire going to care about making you money, ever. Only now. It costs less than a Nando's. It's $49 a month. If you still don't join, well, then you're a dumbass. And I don't want you to join anyway. So I've mentioned it enough times, I feel. And I also feel like now I'm at a point where I'm above getting people to join. It exists. And if you're not a loser, you'll join because you want to save your life. And if you don't want to save your life, you want to stay a slave, you can go stay a slave.
But I'm trying to come at it at a point where, for example, you were once the most Googled man on the whole of the earth, right? And all these things, the TikTok clips, the podcast, everything, Instagram accounts, Twitter, whatever you name it, they were all a big funneling system for that. And now where there's the cases, these platforms have banned you, apart from Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, it's like, how can you get back to being that most famous man, the most Googled man on the earth?
I don't know if I need to be anymore because, unfortunately, the idiot who made that documentary was incorrect. I'm not chasing fame. I'm doing what I believe to be right. I'm going to speak to the people I want to speak to. I wanted to see you. That's why we're doing this podcast. I get 10 podcast requests a day. I don't do them because I need to do them or I want to do this one. So I'm doing it. It's fun. And the people who join the real world who want to be freed from the matrix will join. If nobody joins, that's fine. I don't need the money. We have over 200,000 students anyway. I mean, I know what you're saying. I don't wake up and think, how do I get views? I don't care anymore. I wake up, I do what I'm supposed to do. I train hard. I see my children. I work. I make a bunch of money. If I have a platform to speak on, I'm going to tell the truth. If I tweet something, it's going to be the truth. And God will do the rest. And it is what it is. And the only reason these things exist are to help the people at home be valuable fans of mine. And I think that's an important point in terms of fans. I want to have valuable fans. I don't. If I'm going to raise an army, I want men who can fight.
Yeah, you don't want brokies.
Yeah, I don't want. Yeah, if you're going to raise an army, do you want me? Do you want a bunch of men who can't fight? No, you want men who can fight. So if you're going to join my army, you need to be able to train, work hard, and be able to fight. I don't want to go to war with a bunch of idiots. So if you're sitting at home and you're working at McDonald's and you can't escape the rat race, you're not much good to me. So then why are you watching my stuff? Why would you sit here and watch me speak for hours
and then do fuck all?
And then not go and join the school and get rich? Like, you must be out your mind. But there are people who do this, and there are some people who you just can't help. There is a huge percentage of the populace which they're beyond saving because they're the worst thing you can possibly be, which is a quitter. Being a quitter is the worst thing you can possibly be. God himself can't make a quitter important because the only reason the place you're trying to get to has value is because it was difficult to reach. If everybody could reach it, there'd be no value. Value is linked to scarcity. The whole point gold is valuable is because it's not everywhere. If it was everywhere, it wouldn't have any value. The reason the place you're trying to reach is valuable is because people can't get there. So if you're the kind of person who quits, you're never going to get there. Quitters are the worst. You could give a quitter a map, a treasure map, and a hot air balloon. And say it's going to take you right to the treasure. It's going to be a 7-day journey. Here's a sandwich. And halfway through they'll be like, oh, I'm cold.
Yeah, you just said it, 7 days, nah.
Yeah, and they'll quit.
Yeah.
Quitters will never make it. And there's a huge subsect of the populace who are basically simply quitters. I've never in my life seen anyone who's determined to get something not get it. I've never seen somebody who is determined in their heart to get something not get it. The universe and God is so giving and providing. People think it's difficult out here. I disagree. I've never seen someone wake up and say, nah, this is all I care about. This is all I want. Not get it. Everyone who thought that way in fighting was a world champion. Everyone who thought that way about money was rich. I've never seen anyone fail. Bro, I've seen people with no credit score and no job determined to get an R8 manage to get one on finance somehow. I've seen it. If it's all you want, you're going to get it.
You're going to find a way to get it.
You're going to find a way. Yeah. People go, oh, I want this. If you wanted it, you'd have it.
Literally, I spoke to a man who had done a podcast recently. He was saying if someone had a gun to your children's head and said to you, the only way I'm going to move this gun is by you making $1 million, you are going to make $1 million.
100%. Yeah. You're going to be motivated for the first time in your life. People often say, if you try your best, it's okay to fail. But what they don't understand, the true secret to the universe is that if you try your best, you never fail.
Yeah.
That's what people don't understand. And most people aren't trying. They aren't trying. They don't know what trying is. In fact, that's probably one of the things I hear the most. I used to hear the most because I don't talk to people anymore because they all annoy me. I'm trying. No, you're not. You don't know what trying is. No, you are not trying. I know you're not trying. I know, because as we sat here before we went to speak, you weren't on your phone working. You weren't trying. You were standing around talking shit to some idiot. You're not trying. People are genuinely not out here giving their absolute best, because if you were, you'd have everything you've ever desired. You'd have anything you've ever wanted and asked for. Instead, what people do is they cope and convince themselves they're trying. Oh, I tried, but I need a work-life balance, and it's hard, and I was trying. All garbage, it's all cope. And like I said earlier, life is war. If you're a man and you don't view the world as war, I can't imagine how you view the world. My entire worldview is war. I was actually having this conversation the other day about why I avoid extreme sports. This was some girl. She's like, would you ever jump out of a plane with me? I'm like, bitch, no.
Why do you avoid extreme sports?
Well, because my life is extreme. But my life is hard. I'm at war. If your life is extreme and you're already at war, the last thing you want to do is jump out of a plane. You want it safety, calm. I want to be left alone.
You went skiing like last month or something.
I went on a snowmobile.
Okay.
Which is,
just driving around, cruising.
I mean, I wouldn't consider that extreme, but she was talking about would I ever jump out of the plane. I said, no, absolutely not, because my life is war. And she said, what do you mean? I said, well, you're hot. Every man wanted you. I got you. I won. That was a war. My Ferrari, everyone wanted it. I bought it. I won. That was war. Along with all the residential properties I own, along with the commercial properties, along with all the domains I own, along with fighting the matrix and the legal system, that's all war. When you see something beautiful, it is war. When you see a big tree, people go, wow, big, beautiful tree. And they don't realize that that was a war amongst saplings.
As you said last time.
There was 30 little trees, and he just tried to destroy all the trees around him so he could grow bigger and everything else. It's war. Life has always been war. So why would I want to go start jumping out of planes? No, I want security team and a big gate and safety. I said to her, she goes, oh, but what do you mean your life's extreme? When we leave this establishment, we are going to walk to my car. There are 2 professional armed guards with me, and I am still with my head on a swivel. You're just going to walk to the car because you're a chick. Do. I think leaving the establishment and going to the car is a battle I must win. Because I have to get out, I have to look, I have to make sure I'm not going to get killed,
Coast is
I have
clear.
to get in the car. There's so much going on. You want to jump out the plane because you don't understand that. You think nothing's going on.
Yeah.
For me, my whole life, it's all problems. It's stress. Leave me alone. I'm not jumping out of any planes. I'm not climbing any rocks. I'm not swimming with sharks. That's all for people who don't have enough stress in their life. If you wake up and decide you want to swim with sharks, you are lacking stress, which means you are not trying very hard. Because if you were trying your absolute best, and you were important, and the Matrix wanted you in jail, and your enemies wanted you dead, the last thing you would want to do is go swimming with fucking sharks. You must be out your mind. It's insane. It's crazy.
Yeah. I want to come back to a point where you mentioned, you said you only go on podcasts that you like. So you're here now and I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
But sometimes it does make me chuckle though. I see you go on podcasts where I think to myself, why, Andrew? Why? That was a full-on Matrix attack. Why are you going on, maybe Piers Morgan to an extent, but that Lucy from BBC, why do you do that? I'm thinking, why, Tate? Why?
Well, yeah, the MSM now have to pay me $50,000 and a sandwich.
And bring it, chocolates.
Yeah, so they have to give them to me. If it's a female reporter, she has to bring me a sandwich. And I haven't had any mainstream media news articles since. I did Piers, actually, to be honest. And the reason I did Piers is I wanted to educate him on Palestine. He needed to be told the truth.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. I was told not to do that from very important people. Andrew, don't say that.
What, like in your team, something, or?
Not in my team, just from around.
Okay, yeah.
Don't say that. Don't poke that question. Don't say that.
No, big respect to you
I had to. But
and it's interesting. What I will say on the back of that as well, even though I looked at it and I was like, okay, cool. Andrew may not have the top echelon education like Mohammed Hijab would have, but the way he stuck it on Piers Morgan for that, I was like, sick.
I know what right and wrong is.
Yeah.
I know what murder is. I know what genocide is. And you're right. I don't need the ins and outs to point out the genocide, the insanity of it all. And I don't interact with the MSM as much as I did, but conflict also creates interest. I don't think the MSM or my haters understand that I wouldn't be anywhere near the echelon I am if it wasn't for the hate. No light or dark. If everyone loved Andrew Tate all the time, then it would be boring. 95% of people love Andrew Tate. 5% of people can't stand me. And they are such an important part of the fuel. Rocket fuel, I have no idea if this is true or not, but I'm going to say it, so I'm going to make it up. Rocket fuel can have 2 primary components, right? You can have liquid oxygen, liquid nitrogen. You have the different boosters on the rocket, and you see that one booster ejects and another booster fires, which means the fuels must be different. They can't be the same fuel. They're probably in the same tank, meaning I was right all along. There you go, proved. So you need the different things together to get to space. So if the MSM come along and I know it's a Matrix attack, but I know I'm going to destroy them, then and I'll do it. The thing is with these people, I'm not afraid of these people. Imagine being Lucy from the BBC. The story of Lucy is as follows. When I first went to jail, on my jail phone, I ended up speaking to my PR team, and they said, this girl Lucy wants to come give you an interview, and she wants to tell the truth about your case. She doesn't want to matrix attack you. I said, that's a lie. Yes, she does. She goes, no, she wants to ask about why you're in jail without charge, how men shouldn't go to jail without trial, how this is a violation of your human rights. She wants to ask about what life's like in jail. She wants to make it very interesting. I said, who does she work for? And I said, the BBC. And I said, the BBC do not want to do anything but matrix attack me. So anyway, they convinced my PR team that this was not a matrix attack, and they came in friendly, and they sat down, convinced it was not a matrix attack, and we had cameras running in the background, which they didn't know, and then they instantly matrix attacked me and tried to make a fool of me.
Yep.
Lucy even admitted on BBC Radio 4 at a later date that she had been rehearsing for 2 months for that interview.
Really?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Imagine rehearsing for 2 months, setting a man up, lying, pretending it's going to be a softball interview or an interesting interview. It's not even softball. It'd be interesting to ask actually pertinent questions, and instead matrix attacking him, and off the top of his head, when he just came out of a jail cell for 93 days of solitary confinement, getting destroyed. These people must hate me. Of course they hate me.
It's interesting.
I just sit there and make a fool of them.
They even took down the interview after as well.
Of course
the second
they did.
you released your one, because they released like a 15-minute version of it, and obviously your one was like an hour and a half or whatever it was.
It's like SEAL Team 6 breaking into a man's house and them all getting beat up with a spoon.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way that I should have won that fight. There's no way I should have won. They're the BBC. They had prepared. They'd set it up. She had rehearsed. They lied, saying it was going to be completely different questions. I just got out of jail. I had mental health problems. I couldn't sleep. I had bad nightmares. I've been in solitary confinement. All this. And I come out and I win. Of course they hate me. I'd hate me. Of course all they're going to do is print garbage about me forever. So why did I even do it? I guess the reason I did it is because I always have a parachute. I always have a bungee cord of brutal competence. And that competence has come from conflict, and I'm very well versed. I can argue any point. I can argue when I know I'm wrong. I can argue the sky is green. I can argue anything. There's no point I can't argue. And I have that backup. And I guess, I've said this before, I think it's probably the least discussed superpower on earth is being able to speak well.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about it. People talk about being strong. Great. People talk about being rich. Okay, fantastic. But being able to speak correctly and properly and very well is a completely under-discussed superpower. It's the reason I refuse to learn another language. I've lived in Romania for 7 years. I know 3 words. And people say, why don't you learn Romanian? I say, because I don't know English yet. When I know every single word in English, I'll learn Romanian because English makes me money. I don't need to learn Romanian. It doesn't make me any money.
Genuine question. Have you ever been media trained?
Never.
Never?
Never.
So the way you speak, the way you articulate yourself is just literally...
Practice.
Like that.
But it's not, in fact, correction. It's not practice. It's feedback. A lot of people practice things all the time and stay terrible. I had a guy say to me, in the war room, we actually do this training. I train the guys in the war room how to speak better. And that's one of the best things you can learn in life. And that's one of the reasons the war room is so valuable, because at the war room events, we do specific training for this particular task. And the guy was saying about how his business has improved, how much more money he makes, and how much better he is with girls, and et cetera, et cetera. And I was saying, yeah, okay, fine. But the reason I speak so well is not because I'm practiced, because this man was older than me. It's like, you've been speaking longer than I have.
Yeah.
It's not practice, it's feedback. If you don't analyze what you've done, then you're not going to identify your mistakes and where you can improve. I will watch this podcast back 10 times, and I will realize all the times I stuttered, or all the times I had to repeat myself, or all the times I didn't use a word I was supposed to use. And that's why next time I do a podcast, it'll be better than even before. And that's also a lesson you can take and apply towards life. You can apply the feedback aspect towards life. Practice alone will not improve you. Practice is going to build habits. In fact, from fighting, I know this very well. If you allow a student to come and learn bad habits at the beginning, it's very hard to get out of them. This is why most people, when they talk on podcasts, are saying, I can't even listen to that shit. I'm like, you don't even speak English? Why are you sitting down? You don't speak English?
Why it's so hard to get your point across?
Well, if you can't get your point across compendiously and you can't articulate yourself in a concise manner, how do you expect other people to affiliate with your worldview? Or one of the superpowers of life is thinking something and making somebody else think the same.
Making someone else believe you.
Oh, sorry, police, lover boy. But sitting there and making somebody agree with you, or at least making them understand why you think how you think, is a superpower, surely.
Yeah.
And it's massively misunderstood and underrepresented and not used, and it's not practiced and it's not versed. And I think also I'm actually kind of curious. I've thought about this myself, how useful it will be into the future when the AI comes along and controls us all. You know what my biggest fear of the machine minds are?
Go on.
My biggest fear is that people will be as smart as me. That'll piss me off. I like being smarter than everyone. I don't want a bunch of people to have Google brains that are smarter than mine. I'm supposed to be the smartest guy in the room. That's gonna annoy me.
I don't think that'll be the case. I'll tell you why, because the way I see it is going down the conspiracy hole, yeah? It's like everyone will be trapped and they'll be fed the information that the Matrix want them to have.
I know, but what if they like can get words from the dictionary as quick as I can? Like I had to work hard for that. Now they're just gonna get a microchip. That's a cheat. It's gonna piss me off. I don't want that to happen. Hopefully it happens when I'm already gone. But yeah, being able to speak is a massively misunderstood superpower that a lot of people need to understand that can drastically change their life. But you're only gonna be able to do it if you apply feedback to it. And the same is with absolutely everything in your life. Not enough people look back on what they did and identify where they made a mistake. And some people will do it when they lose, but the true professionals do it when they win. When my dad was playing a chess game, if he won the game, he would still analyze the game and see if he could have lost, where it could have gone wrong, how he could have won faster, what mistakes he did make, what he did well, what he did wrong, win or lose. So many people will sit in a scenario where everything went wrong and go, in fact, correction, not so many people. I would say 75% of people will not ever self-analyze the situation they're in. They'll blame everyone else. If they went to jail like I did, they'd say, they put me in jail because they're liars and the Matrix did it. Fine, true. But when I was in jail, I was like, how did I get here? What did I do? What did I say? Who did I piss off? What institutions want me in jail? What did I do that angered them? Me. I'm taking absolute self-accountability for everything. I'm not blaming anything else, because if I blame everything else, I have no control. If I blame myself, then I can influence it. I have control over it. So 75% of people blame other people or they blame other things. I lost my business because of COVID. No, you lost your business because of you. I lost my girl because her friends were hoes. No, you lost your girl because of you. And you lost your car because of you. And it's all your fault, because that's the only thing that gives you control and power. The other 10%, we said 75, that's 85, now it has to be much higher. Let's say the other 20%, which brings up to 95% of the total of the populace, will look at a situation in which they lose and they might self-analyze and they might try and learn from the loss, and they'll try and find the feedback involved in the loss to make sure they don't lose again, which is obviously better than not analyzing at all.
At all, yeah.
And the top 5%, the absolute highest echelon, are people who are going to analyze every decision they've ever made, win or lose. I analyze my wins as well.
See where you went right.
See where I went right, see where I went wrong, see where it worked. You need to analyze your whole life. Your life needs to be feedback. You need to sit and it's over 10% into the year now. I wonder if anyone who made a New Year's resolution sits and says, it's over 10% into the year. Am I at 10% of my goal? Because your stupid ass said you were going to be a millionaire when you were drunk on New Year's Eve. Well, you need to have 100 grand saved. Do you have 100,000? Have you even done the feedback on your own goal you made 30 short days ago to realize that you're nowhere near it and you're not gonna make it and you're a loser? No. Oh, I got the rest of the year, and then wonder why they fail. You should have a daily target.
And then it's just a full-on cycle for them, yearly.
Of course.
Going to be a millionaire next year, and then
then they just lie.
Yeah.
So you need to constantly feedback and analyze your life and take time out of scenarios. I do this all the time. There's been times I've got up out of bed and I've got ready and I've got my keys and I've got my phone and I've stroked my dog and I've had my coffee. I downed it quickly and it was just the right temperature, so it wasn't too hot and it wasn't too cold. And I got in my car, which had already been started by my security team, and it was already warm. And I got in and I was out the door. I was like, I'll go out the door in 6 minutes. That's like 2 minutes faster than normal. Yeah, that was good. What did I do good? Well, the coffee. The coffee wasn't too hot, wasn't too cold. Usually it's too hot and I have to wait. Or it's too cold and I want another one. The coffee was just the right temperature. When was it made? I'll check the message where I sent them to make me a coffee. And it sounds crazy, but I'll analyze how I left the fucking house while I'm driving. I'll be like, that was fast. That was good.
How can we do that again?
Well done. I want to do that next time. People don't feedback ever, and they don't analyze the way they speak. If you're the kind of person who can't speak properly, you're the kind of person who doesn't analyze their own behaviors in life. That's what I would say. If I see somebody who can't make me understand why they think what they think, I'm going to sit and say, okay, well, you're not the kind of person who analyzes their own life. Now, do I trust you? Because let's say we start a business together and it all goes wrong. Are you going to come to me and say, I made a mistake. I can do better. This is the mistake I made. Or you're going to sit and say, well, the environment was hard. It was a hard business environment.
Wasn't in my control.
Yeah, some garbage and just cope. You know who the worst for this? Oh, I'm going to jail. Here we go. Going to jail. Women. Women take no self-accountability for anything. I'm a misogynist. It's true. No, they don't take self-accountability for anything. And they don't because they don't have to. Because they are blessed with beauty from God. So they have a superpower, which is their beauty. And their beauty allows them to get away with being completely lacking self-accountability, because as a man, you have to be competitive. And the only way you can truly be competitive in war, which life is to be self-accountable, to blame yourself for everything, because that puts you in the highest possible mind state to compete against everyone else who wants the things you want.
For sure.
So you have to, as a man, self-analyze and be self-critical.
Your every move.
Every move. But as a woman, you don't, because you're hot, right? So they're not good at it. And I'm not insulting them, they're just not used to it, because they get to blame other people and blame everything else because their beauty allows them to get away with it. And that's the reason I said, my girlfriend said, would you ever let me drive your cars? I was like, never. Never, ever. She goes, why? I'm a good driver for a girl. And I said, yeah, and my 4-year-old's a good speaker for a 4-year-old, but I wouldn't put him in front of a stadium to talk. So it doesn't matter how well you could drive for a girl, you're a girl. But that's not even the reason. The reason I wouldn't let you drive my cars, it's not because I think you're gonna crash, I do, but that's not even what it's about. If I lent my boy a car, if I lent a man a car and he crashed it,
He will take accountability for it.
He'd take accountability for it. He would come to me and say, there was a crash, this happened, I'll fix it, I'm sorry. Even if he believes it wasn't his fault, he would still, if he's the kind of guy I know, have enough self-accountability to go, this idiot pulled out of nowhere, but I was speeding. I was going fast, it's a fast car. I'm gonna fix the car, I'm gonna get it sorted, I'm gonna pay for it. If a woman crashes the car, that's not what you're gonna hear. It wasn't my fault, you don't understand, it wasn't me. He pulled out and I didn't do anything wrong and he pulled out. And I'm like, well, how are you gonna fix it? I'm not gonna fix it because he pulled out and I didn't know. Why are you yelling at me? This isn't my fault. And I'm left with the mess. So why am I lending her a car in the first place? I'm left with the mess and she's gonna say it's not her fault. She'll crash into a tree by herself and it wasn't her fault. The tree
did something.
Bro, it's clown world. So anyone who's not self-accountable, I don't trust. So back to, let's avoid the women's subject because it always gets me in trouble. Back to men. If you're a man who's not self-accountable, I don't trust you. So if you're a man who's making a mistake as permanent as not being able to speak and convey your ideas correctly, well, then I don't trust you as a person. And that's probably the best thing about money. People often ask me what the best thing about being rich is. And there's not much that's good. Private jets are good because it's convenient. It's like getting an Uber. There's no airport garbage. Supercars are fun. I love supercars. But most other rich stuff is garbage. Like caviar's crap, champagne's crap. What do rich people do? Golf,
I tried caviar one time and I thought it was
croquet.
disgusting.
It's all shit.
Yeah.
I don't like, one of the best things about being rich is I don't have to talk to anyone I don't want to talk to. If someone comes to me and goes, Andrew, we can make a lot of money together, but I think they're a nerd, so I'll talk to them. It's great. I don't want your money. I would rather not have money than sit and talk to a nerd. You're a dork. Oh, you're a vegan. Get fucked. Oh, but we'll make money. Don't care. I don't want the money. I am principled now. Which goes back into my earlier point about why I want my fans to have money, because if you have money, you're principled. If you're a brokey, you'll sell your soul. Which is why I don't want my fans to be broke. That's why I have the real world so they can join and make money, because if you are broke, you will say, I'm not a fan of Andrew if it benefits you financially, which means you're no good to me in a war, because now you're a traitor. I don't want that. So one of the best things about being rich is I get to be exceptionally principled, and I get to also not talk to anyone I don't want to talk to all of the time, which I do truly enjoy. It's one of the best things about it.
As we were just speaking about off camera in our little break, we were talking about assets being seized, right? Yeah. So Romania, here you had a load of cars. You had supercars, M5s, tuned cars, all that sort of stuff. And they took all of them, right? Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they've still got them.
They've still got them now, yeah, currently. And we're in court to try and see if the seizure is legal. Because the law, as we discussed earlier, isn't subjective, of course, and it's not dependent on how famous you are. Of course, it's very fair. So we're going to discuss that. And if I get them back, that would be nice. And if I don't, it doesn't matter because I have 40 more. So. And
you're still buying cars, and once again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard you say that they're trying to seize the new assets that you're buying. Like, for example, you pull up here an SF90.
Yeah, they are. It's very interesting. I do still find it strange that as we speak, right now, there are people in a room somewhere trying to destroy my life. Think about that. I hope none of you are in that position yet, because you'll get famous and rich enough and it'll come. And I hope none of you are in this position yet. Maybe you are and you don't know. As we speak right now, there are people who are paid a wage in a room somewhere on earth looking at me thinking, how do we wreck his life? How do we take his stuff and put him in jail? That's kind of a scary thought, no? Isn't that kind of crazy? If you knew there was 10 professionals in a room trying to destroy you. So I'm sure they're trying to take my car and my fancy watch, but they can't take my charisma or good looks. So it is what it is. But you have to find ways to protect yourself legally, which I've done my very best to do. But yeah, they tried to take my new cars I acquired after my prison sentence. And you know what? I'm not even emotional about it, because I have two schools of thought when it comes to things like this. Part one is, I'm too principled a man to be involved in a matrix attack. So if I was a prosecutor and they came to me and said, put this man in jail, I'd sit and say, well, I don't want to, because I know this is a matrix attack and I know he doesn't deserve it, and they're only being attacked because of his massive fame and influence.
Unless the prosecutor is part of the matrix as well.
Exactly. I'm principled, but most people aren't principled. Or even if they have any degree of principles, because they need to pay the mortgage, because they have to do as they're told for their job to pay their bills, everything I discussed earlier. Yep. They're not free, so they have to. So part of me is, well, I'm too principled to ever do this to me, but I kind of understand why they do it. And then part of me is far more spiritual about it all and just kind of understands that since the dawn of human time, every king everywhere has been at war. If you have a kingdom, there are people who are even if you're not directly at war, there are people who are testing your borders. There are border bandits coming across the border and raiding the small villages along the fringes of your empire, stealing gold, trying to see how fast your army can react. You're constantly under attack. There's never been a king who got to draw his lines and just got left alone.
Yeah. Don't work like that.
It doesn't work that way. So if you want to be a king, you have to have war. So part of me understands why they're doing it. I don't know. I still find it so strange. Me and Tristan will sit there and go, isn't it weird? We're having a coffee and there's people trying to put us in jail. It's just weird.
Literally, as we're doing this podcast right now, there's another room somewhere, whether it's in Romania or another part of the world, where they're just thinking, right, what are we doing? What's the next step? What's 100%. The next plan?
And they're gonna watch this podcast if they're professional. I mean, if they're any good at their jobs, I guess they're gonna watch this. And I find that so interesting. It's like, hi guys, you think I'm a criminal and I'm not. See you in court. It's really weird to me.
At the same time though, wouldn't you say that some of these podcasts, even though you're depicting everything that they assume about you, wouldn't you say you're also giving them ammunition?
Probably. Just like I said, when you get rich, you can give them ammunition by having a girlfriend or driving a car or talking. I could disappear and shut up, but isn't that exactly what they want? That's why they're doing it, my friend. So am I giving them ammunition? Yes, but I'm also not doing as I'm told. Their primary objective with all of this garbage, do you think they really cared about TikTok accounts? No, their goal was for me to go away. Make him go away. We've tried to ban him and it doesn't work, so make him go away. So I refuse to go away. Hence why they're still trying. So yeah, am I giving them ammunition? Probably. Because I can say anything and they'll use it as ammunition against me. I just say words. I can say the sky is blue and it's ammunition against me. That's the reason you don't talk to cops. But I believe that in the end, everything's going to work out. I know who I am. I know what I've done. I know what I've not done. I know the idea these people have of me. I know the story they've painted in their minds, and I know how false it is. It's kind of reassuring. If someone were to come to me and say, Andrew, you're under suspicion for having a Long Johnson, I'd say, shit, they know. I've got to hide the truth. But if they came to me and said, Andrew, you're under suspicion of human trafficking and manipulating, I'm like, oh, great. Okay, so you're trying to prove a fallacy. So you can spend all your time, and yeah, you can find me say something misogynistic online. You can find me have a fast car. You can find money. You can find pictures of me with girls on a boat. And you can, in your mind, because you have this picture, think they're all related. But I know the truth is, I just bought a fast car with my perfectly legal income, and a bunch of girls came on my boat because I'm handsome. So I'm not really that concerned because they're trying to prove a fallacy. But it's still an interesting chess match, I guess. Would I be bored without it? Is life cooler? Is life better that way? We talked about how I'm improving all these people's lives and it's emitting karmic organs that I'm absorbing with my Aikido, making me stronger than ever before because of all the lives I've improved. Perhaps it's not even just about improving lives. Perhaps it's just about the fact that there are people dedicating their existences, dedicating the calories they burn from the food they eat towards my name, whether they like me or dislike me. There are full-grown adults who get up in the morning and butter toast so they can have enough energy to sit down and focus on Andrew Tate. That's gotta be a benefit. Even if they're sitting in the room going, we need to put him in jail, we need to put him in jail. Keep eating your toast, keep buttering your toast, because those calories you burn are mine. It is all mine. I'm like Shang Tsung. I've taken their souls, I've absorbed it. Whether they like me or hate me, I don't even care anymore. I've also decided that I live in a mirrored ball. So my mirrored ball, which I've decided, can absorb all the positive organs through it, which make me more powerful than ever before. But I've noticed that my biggest haters are so bitter. They hate their lives. Because when you hate somebody, you're the one who swallowed the poison. If they don't care whether you exist or not, they win, right? Apathy is a superpower. My haters try and send negative energy my way, and it just bounces right back and ends up in their heart. Because they're like, he's a bad guy. And then everyone loves me and my life is fantastic. And they get mad about that fact. And they end up just hating their lives.
It's funny because, do you know, it's so funny because one of the guys, a guy I speak to here and there, not like a great friend or anything, but he's not a fan of you.
People don't have to agree with everything I say. They don't have to like everything I say. They don't have to like everything about me. I think that's the true mark of a professional. Like, I can sit with somebody and hate 95% about them, but the 5% I do like is valuable enough for me to sit with them. I can sit with people who I think are idiots in many, or I disagree with in many regards. However, they have that one attribute that makes them worth speaking to. To sit and say, Andrew Tate, oh, he's disgusting. He said women can't park. So you don't want to listen to anything I say about motivation as a world champion athlete, or mindset as a billionaire, or business, or finance. You don't want to listen to any of that because you're upset that I said women can't park. Well, then you're a dummy. Well, then you're a dummy, right? Because firstly, women can't park. And secondly...
But you're too stuck on the hatred bit for you to learn anything.
These are bitter, hate-filled people. Hate, I know it's a bit of a cliche, but it's true. Hate never comes from above. If I've ever been unfortunate enough to see the face of one of my haters, I totally get it. I'm like, bro, I get it. I totally get it. I remind you of the guy who picked on you your whole life. I get it. I'm big and cool and strong and smart and you're a dork. I totally understand. Anyone on Twitter, these anon accounts who hate me, etc. I get it. They are nobodies. Nobodies. And they can't pay their bills and they're sad. And they try and attack me with it. But maybe what's the word I'm looking for? Is it petty? Is it immature? I'm not sure, but when I see these little nerds, like, I hate you so much, it just makes me happy. I don't know. I'm just like, I wouldn't say I love it. I'm like, I know you do. If you're not hated, if you don't have haters, what have you achieved? If there's no one on earth who doesn't dislike you, then you must not have an opinion. You must just be neutral, like goo. You can be the best thing on earth. You can be T-bone steak. Somebody's gonna not like T-bone steak. Most people do, but there's always gonna be someone who doesn't. Maybe you can become some form of gloopy porridge in the middle that no one likes, no one hates. You're gloopy porridge. It's just there. But if you want to be T-bone, there's gonna be some idiot who comes along and goes, oh, this is terrible. There's gonna be some idiot. The world's full of idiots, that's fine. But I'd be very concerned if I didn't have haters. And I'd be very, very worried if the MSM weren't trying to attack me. I kind of feel like that's the perfect proof that I'm on the right path. And I also find it quite flattering that these governments, with all of their problems, of course they don't care about the people, but they'll divert genuine resource to trying to destroy my influence. I find that quite flattering. That means I must be effective. I must be doing a good job telling men to go to the gym and don't listen to the bullshit. So yeah, it's very interesting.
What do you imagine the world to look like in 5-10 years time? As I mentioned earlier on, you got AI and you got the Apple Vision Pro, and eventually they're gonna come out with sunglasses like the ones you're wearing now that have every little thing that you need to see in front of you. So what do you imagine the world to look like? Is it a scary place, or is it a thing of where it's interesting?
It's a good question. And I'm gonna tell people how I came to my answer. I think the best way to predict the future is to study history. I believe in times of old, let's go back the last 3,000 years. If you were a king, your life was pretty good. Or it was as good as life could be. To be a king, you had power, influence, money. That's what you had, and you were a king, and you lived a good version of life. If you weren't a king, you were an average man, a common man. And I think the world is cyclical. When you were a common man 2,000 years ago, you were effectively a slave, and life was terrible. And then that was the same all the way up to perhaps the 1930s, 1940s. Being a common man was pretty terrible. And perhaps it was the war and the massive loss of life. Perhaps it was something else, I'm not sure. But I kind of feel like there was a golden period between in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, maybe even the 90s, where being a normal, hardworking man, because life is cyclical, went from being a terrible existence to quite a good existence. In the 60s, you could be a normal man who worked in a factory, an unskilled labor job, and with one wage, you could afford a house, you could afford a car, you could afford to raise a family, your children would not be taught garbage in school, your wife would respect you, you'd have a home-cooked meal.
Times were good.
Times were good. All the things I said about playing Uno earlier in Hyperbole are true. What matters most? Your wife loves you, you're respected as the breadwinner, your kids respect you, they listen to you, your house is clean, your house is safe, your car works, your life is good. And I feel like, because it's cyclical, those good times are over and we're going back to where it was before. The kings have always been fine, and we always will. But if you're the common man, I think that the good days are over. And I think it's gonna get harder and harder. Inflation is gonna absolutely decimate your spending power. Now, inflation doesn't damage me. Inflation doesn't damage me because I own all the assets. Inflation just means houses get worth more money. Inflation just means Bitcoin and stock and land and houses all go up. Inflation means my car collection is no longer worth 110 million. It's now worth 300 million, whatever. I own everything.
Inflation is amazing for the rich man.
100%, I love it.
But for the broke man,
you're done.
You're fit.
You're done.
You're finished.
Because inflation is meaning your money is worth less. And it's gonna take more of your money to buy a house, and your wage is not gonna increase at the rate of inflation. It's becoming more and more impossible for you to own assets. For us asset owners, inflation's fantastic.